This week we will be working on this Asus Vivobook S14. This is described as having a motherboard fault. As you can see, I just have the keyboard and the motherboard and the bottom part of the chassis. We don't have the screen. That's not a problem. We can test it with an external monitor. I also don't have a power adapter here for an Asus laptop, so I have no means of powering it on to show you what the fault is. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the back cover, I'm going to take out the motherboard, scan it in, and then I'm going to locate the DC in section where we need to inject power. We're then going to inject power and see exactly what the fault is with this motherboard.
I removed the motherboard from the chassis and carried out a quick visual inspection. I cannot see any signs of damage, no spill, no blown components. So what I'm going to do next is bring power to this motherboard and see what happens when we try and power it on. Now, as you can see, this is the older style DC input, where we have essentially just two pins. We have a center pin which carries in our DC input voltage, and then we have a ground on the outside. Now I've checked, and this Asus Vivobook S14 laptop takes an input of 19 volts. So I'm going to connect up my DC power supply and show you how I provide 19 volts to this laptop. So we introduce our DC power supply, connect our black wire to ground and our red wire to the center pin, and set the voltage to 19 volts, which is what I've checked from the Asus Vivobook S14 manual is the correct voltage. And when I turned it on, it immediately started drawing 0.001 of an amp, which is just 1 milliamp. Now, in this generation of laptop, what we normally see next is two input MOSFETs and a current sense resistor. I don't see anything like that around here. All I'm seeing is we have our center pin that carries our voltage onto the board. It then goes through a number of inductors and to these vias right here. So we need to check our schematic and see where our voltage goes from this point. Now, I've found a partial schematic for this motherboard to help me find the input MOSFETs. And as you can see, we have PQ8901 and PQ8902. So our AC input, well, they call it AC input, but it's actually our 19 volts input, comes through one MOSFET here, which is our AC FET, and then through a second FET, which is our RB FET here, through a current sense resistor, and then straight down to all of our secondary circuits. However, there is one small complication. Even though the components are labelled here, none of the components on the board are labelled. However, from this schematic, I do know that the next two components in line are one MOSFET, a second MOSFET, and a current sense resistor. So let's go search on the board and see if we can find those. I've searched around the motherboard, and as you can see, on the right we have a MOSFET followed by a second MOSFET and a current sense resistor. But as I stated earlier, there's no labels on any of these components to confirm that these correspond to what we're seeing on the schematic. But it does line up. We've one MOSFET, we've got a second MOSFET and a current sense resistor, and then what should be our main power rail here. As you can see, after the current sense resistor there's a big track going out to all of the other parts of the circuit, so that certainly looks like it should be the main 19 volt power rail. So what I did to confirm that these are the MOSFETs and current sense resistor that I'm looking for is I switched the power off and I did a continuity check between the drain pins of this first MOSFET here and the center pin of the DC jack, and they are continuous. So these are the MOSFETs that we're looking for. So let's switch the power back on again and carry out some voltage measurements and see what we're reading. I've zoomed in a little so that we can see those MOSFETs more clearly. So our AC FET is an M3056M. Let's mark in the pins for that. So we have 4 drain pins on this side, 3 source pins and a gate pin here. For this little MOSFET here, which is an M0930M MOSFET, we have 3 source pins, a gate pin, and then 4 drain pins on the other side. So let's take some voltage measurements around these and see if we can work out what the problem is. So with my multimeter in volts DC in the 20 volt range, I placed my black probe to ground and started using my red probe to take some measurements. I started at the drain pins of this first MOSFET, and when I measured the drain pins here I found that we had 19.0 volts. Now what's meant to happen here is with this N channel MOSFET, our gate pin is meant to be high, which switches on our MOSFET and allows our 19 volts through from our drain to our source. However, when I measured at the source pins of that MOSFET, I found that we had 3.08 volts. Measuring at the gate pin of this first MOSFET, I find that we have 3.08 volts. On the second MOSFET, we have our 3.08 volts coming from the source pins of our first MOSFET onto the source pins of our second MOSFET. And when I check the drain pins of this second MOSFET, I find that we also have 3.08 volts. And if I check the gate pin of that second MOSFET, we also have 3.08 volts. So what's going on here? Pause the video for a second and tell me what you would be expecting here and if these voltage readings are correct or not. And I'm sure, as most of you understand at this point, these voltage readings are wrong. It's correct up to the point here that we have 19 volts coming into our first MOSFET, but we should be getting 19 volts on the other side. And our gate signal for an N-channel MOSFET should be something like 24 volts. We're only getting 3 volts. So there is something seriously wrong in this input section that is preventing our 19 volts coming through our two MOSFETs and presenting at our current sensor resistor. So I decided to check those two input MOSFETs to see if there was any signs of a fault. I disconnected the power and introduced my multimeter in diode mode. I placed my red probe to the source pins of the first MOSFET and my black probe to the drain pins of the first MOSFET, and I found that it measured 0.512. So that seems okay. Next, I want to carry out that same diode mode measurement for the second MOSFET. So I placed my red probe to the source pins of the second MOSFET and my black probe to the drain pins of the second MOSFET. And when I did that, it measured 0.000. So that second MOSFET is measuring short in circuit. That doesn't necessarily mean that the MOSFET itself is shorted. It could be a capacitor or something else. So I decided to take that second MOSFET off the board and check it out of circuit to see if it's short. So after removing that MOSFET, I checked it off the board in continuity mode, and as you can hear, that MOSFET is in fact short. After establishing that that MOSFET was in fact shorted, I found a replacement on a spare board and soldered it back in place of the failed one. So with our shorted MOSFET replaced, I connected this motherboard back to power again and took the same voltage measurements around those two MOSFETs. So let me show you what I measured this time. On the drain pins of the first MOSFET, I measured 19 volts. On the source pins of the first MOSFET, I also measured 19 volts. On the gate pins of the first MOSFET and the second MOSFET, I now measured 23.6 volts. On the drain pins of the second MOSFET, I measured 19 volts, and after the current sense resistor, I measured 19.0 volts. Now, just because I have restored our 19 volt power rail, this does not mean that I have resolved all issues with this laptop. It's possible that that MOSFET was blown because of a secondary fault further down the line. So before I connect this back up and try and power it on, I'm going to check for all of my secondary voltages, and we're going to start first at this IC right here. This is the IC that produces our 3.3 volts and 5 volts power rails, and I'm going to check around it to see if those two power rails are coming online. I've zoomed in on the IC and marked in the pinouts so that we can more easily see what's going on. So what should be happening here is we should be getting our 19 volts coming in on the V-in pin, and then this IC should be producing a number of voltages. There's an LDO 3.3 volts on pin 3, an LDO 5 volts on pin 13, and on phase 1 and phase 2 we have higher current 3.3 volts and 5 volts. So let me show you what measurements I took. First of all, I was able to confirm on pin 12 that this IC was receiving 19.0 volts. I checked pin 13 and I found that we had 5 volts, which is our LDO 5 volts on pin 13. On phase pin 18, I measured 5.12 volts. On pin 3, LDO 3, I measured 3.29 volts. And on phase 2 I measured 3.4 volts. So it looks to me like all the voltages for this IC are correct. So at this point we have confirmed that our 19 volt power rail is good, and our 3.3 volts and 5 volt power rails are also online. So before connecting this to power and trying to power it on, I decided to carry out one more check, just to check around all of the secondary inductors and confirm that the voltages were online. So at this inductor here I measured 3.4 volts, at this inductor here I measured 5.12 volts, at this inductor here, which is on the battery power rail, I measured 0.0 volts, but we've no battery connected at this point. On this inductor here we have 1.28 volts, which is for our memory. On these inductors here we measured 0.0 volts, 0.99 volts, 0.99 volts and 1.05. Now this may be an additional phase, I'm not hugely concerned about this. But most of those power rails seem to be good. So at this point I think we can connect it to power and connect it to the keyboard. I also need to put in some DDR4 memory because this didn't come with any memory. And then we can check and see if this laptop powers on.
I have put the motherboard back into the chassis and connected it to the keyboard, and I've also connected it to my DC power supply again. So we have the DC power supply set to 19 volts and it's now drawing 0.009 of an amp, or 9 milliamps. That's closer to what it should be. So I'm going to press the power button here and we're going to see what happens. Okay, so it's immediately started drawing more current. You can see it's drawing about 400 milliamps. Now this might take a few minutes. Well, of course there's no guarantee that it is going to boot. All of the voltages are online, but there may be secondary issues with this.
I left the laptop connected to power, and eventually, after almost 5 minutes, it showed a display. So it looks like the blown MOSFET was the only problem with this laptop. And when I replaced that and brought the 19 volt power rail back online, that was enough to get this laptop working again. So we have a successful repair again this week, and out of that batch of 4 laptops that I purchased recently, I've got 2 out of 2 with another 2 to go, and I'll be doing the third of those next week. I must finally be getting the hang of this. But just a quick message, I have a Lenovo laptop here. I've actually got 2 of the motherboards and I'm having trouble. I've spent hours trying to program the BIOS on it, but I just can't get it to work. Is there anybody out there that might be interested in taking the files that I have and just telling me what I'm doing wrong? That would be really helpful to me. If there's anybody that would like to give me a hand with that, please post down in the comments below, and I'll be back with something else next week.